10% of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Karl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Karl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Karl way.
Keen Project Solutions, a modern engineering and construction firm, embracing technology, establishing industry-leading systems and processes, and delivering reliable results to our customers. At Keen, we are passionate about inspiring our team and our customers to achieve great things, offering the highest quality services in commercial construction to deliver turnkey projects. Our core beliefs drive us forward. Protect people, build relationships, drive innovation, and focus on end goals, bringing our customers' desired results to life. See how Keen can work for you at ThinkDifferent.ThinkKeen.com.
Experience the world's largest sports book at your fingertips.
I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor and owner of Circus Sports. We built this platform for bettors that want high limits and total transparency.
Featuring high limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional live customer service when you need it.
Hi, how may I help you today?
Download your new bookie today and start betting like a pro.
Circus Sports.
Well, we're here.
Welcome to PostGame, everybody. The post-game show will come on after this.
Yeah, those guys might be more fun than
That one will probably be a little more jovial. 79-70, Iowa State loses today on the road at Cincinnati. Let's break it all down. I'm Chris Williams, joined as always by Jake Brend. We are presented by Karl Auto Group in the Northwest Bank Studios. Shout out to our friends at Keen Project Solutions and the Tuzel Financial Services as well. Of course, they are with Raymond James. 79-70. Iowa State made it interesting at the end, Jake, but you never did they lead?
They led early.
Okay,
that's what's so frustrating.
Not
about
very
this
much.
Game
They started off kind of okay, and then
the whole week he was talking about, hey, can this team just start the first 10 minutes strong? Can they start the first 5 strong? And they did. That's what's frustrating. They did dictate tempo early. They were able to get some buckets, get some stops, but then that big run by Cincinnati, instead of coming in the first 5 minutes of the game like it has been against KU, against Oklahoma State, against West Virginia, and Baylor, it came around that halfway through the first half mark. And since he couldn't miss, when they did miss, Iowa State couldn't get a rebound. They were turning the ball over. As of 2 minutes left in the first half, Iowa State didn't have a point off of turnovers. They're just not playing cyclone basketball at all right now. And not even close.
No, they're not. They're completely out of sync. Let's just look at the box score real quick before we get into the nuances of it. The big thing here is the points off turnovers. At one point, it was 14-0 in that game. And this has always been a trend. It's not a trend, it's a fact during this Otzelberger era where, your efficient offense comes off of turnovers. It's in transition. And frankly, Iowa State, one of the biggest problems today was defensive rebounding.
Oh, my gosh.
15 offensive rebounds for Cincinnati with 13 second chance points, and that's actually pretty skewed. That doesn't really tell the story,
no,
I don't think, of today's game.
Especially considering the amount of possessions where it felt like Cincy got 3 offensive rebounds on the same possession. That doesn't factor into second chance points.
Well, the other thing too, so let's look at overall field goal attempts. And that's really what tells the story to me. 69 for Cincinnati, 51 for Iowa State.
Shots on goal.
So it felt like, Cincinnati can't miss anything. Well, that's not really accurate. Like they were 10 of 34 from 3. So they go 29.4% from three-point range. So Iowa State really wasn't horrible with their perimeter defense, but the problem was they gave them so many second chance points and so many possessions. And then, let's look at Iowa State and some of these key. You go 17 of 27 from the free throw line. That's 63%. That's not enough. And, the points off of turnovers, that's not enough. And you gave up way too many offensive rebounds. Let's look at fast break points. Points in transition, 13-2. Cincinnati outscores Iowa State. That's a really tough way to do business. And, you got to regroup. Wanted them to do it today. They didn't. It's a long season. But certainly disappointing, the outcome of today's game.
I mean, there's no way to dance around that. This is a Cincinnati team that's not good. 9-8. Yeah, they've got talent. You can certainly say that, and they've got shot makers, and they had players hit shots today, but you can't allow the other team to have 18 more shot attempts than you.
No, it's impossible.
I don't care who you are.
It's impossible, especially a team that plays defense like Cincinnati does.
Yeah, it can't happen. You can't give them the ball as often as
honestly,
you did.
Jake, I feel like, without having watched the game back, I feel like Iowa State was pretty fortunate to be in the game at the end because of Momcilovic.
Yeah, 34 points.
Yeah.
8 of 14
it
shooting.
Didn't feel
from
like
deep.
a one possession, or it was like a 2-possession game.
They cut
not
it to 5.
Yeah,
and they gave up 3 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
That was the game right there.
It just didn't feel like that kind of a game to me. It felt like Iowa State wasn't really ever in this.
Yeah, and they need soul searching because right now teams are dictating how the game goes.
Teams know what to do. The trap thing is quite predictable right now when you're not just completely manhandling them. And then it feels like offensively, if Iowa State doesn't get it in transition and if it's not Momcilovic hitting a big shot, what's your percentage of actually coming away with points?
It's really low.
It's really, really, really low right now. There's just no efficiency at all on that end of the floor.
Yeah, the defense thing, it all ties together because the way Iowa State plays defense is fundamentally wrong. It just is. But they've been able to make it work, and they've been able to be so elite by the way they cause turnovers. And right now, I don't know what
the offense is turning it over too much. Too.
That too. Right now, I don't know what the balance between the other teams knowing how to attack it and Iowa State being on their heels because they seem slow. They seem late to every rotation. They seem late to every trap, and that's not the case when this defense is at its best. So you're not only by not creating turnovers are you hurting your offense. By not creating turnovers, that's where you're giving up the open 3 off of the swing pass. That's where you're giving up the second chance points because you're giving up shots, and when you're trapping so much, you're in scramble mode. Like it all goes together, and this defense can't work if the team isn't creating turnovers, and right now they don't look like they have the right intensity, they don't look like they're a team that's out to prove that they are who they are. They look like a team that thinks they're the number 2 team in the country, and they've been humbled in a pretty big way.
They're clearly not the number 2 team in the country, and we can see that right now on January the 17th. But the good thing is it's January the 17th, and there's a lot of basketball still left to be played. But listen, the last few weeks it's been a trend that Buchanan just hasn't been the player that he was. And it's not just against the scrubs. Like, he was really good against the second half of St. John. Like, he's played good games. Purdue. He's played really good games against good teams. We know he can do it. He's not doing it now.
Yeah.
Torrey is just not as effective as he was. He got in foul trouble today, changed things up just a little bit. So what can you do different instead of just bitching about things that are happening now? You and me, we watched this game together. We both feel like Iowa State's better right now when Nate Heisey's on the floor.
Yeah. He's got to be on the floor at all times. Maybe you make a lineup.
Maybe it's time for that.
Maybe you start him. And it's not a slight towards Torrey. He's a freshman. He's going through a freshman moment right now. I think on both sides where he's still a great defender. He's probably not as high level of a defender right now as he was a month ago. And what you're seeing teams do when he does pick up full court, you're seeing the other team have a big at half court or even further to break that up. So your best weapon with Torrey is the nonstop full court pressure. Teams are finding ways to counter that. the entire team as a whole, they're not rotating as fast enough and they're not creating as many turnovers. And maybe it is Nate Heisey, because I think Heisey's been the team's most consistent two-way player the last 2 games and maybe even longer since. And I think he's physical enough.
I think
he's creating some turnovers.
When I look at the minutes from today, too, so the Bateman thing's hard to tell because he went down.
Got dinged up. Came back in.
He did, but it's hard telling if the 7 minutes was because of the injury or if it was because of,
the game.
TJ Otzelberger's decisions. I think Nelson is kind of what he is right now. You hope that he exceeds that later on. I don't know.
He feels like either an 8-point or 0-point guy.
Plata, to me, really looked out of place the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
His best days of playing basketball are ahead of him. We all know that. But so there's just a lot of people who's like, oh, bench Buchanan. Well, that's easy to say. I don't know exactly what you want to do if Blake Buchanan is not, and I don't subscribe to that because he's going through it right now. There's no doubt about it. I'm not defending his play. It's not very good. Frankly, he's a liability at many times for Iowa State right now, but we've seen him do it. So now it's the job as a coaching staff to figure out a way to get him back into that system to play with some confidence. Because when I look at Blake Buchanan right now, when 23 gets the basketball, I mean, there was the one play, he was wide open underneath the basket. He just threw it off the backboard. It didn't even touch, just dunked the damn basketball. Like, I don't understand. And frankly, what was Jefferson tonight? 4 of 12. Like,
he's hurting the team right now. And I think
it's hard to say that because he had 16, 9, and 5, but I don't actually disagree with, like, it's weird.
Back to the Heisey conversation. I think Heisey is the one that can help Jefferson. Because right now what you're seeing is whoever's guarding Torrey does not care about Torrey. So your options right now are either sub Heisey in place of him to match that with Jefferson's minutes, or it's for Torrey to be relentless cutting. Because right now Torrey's guy is helping off and is collapsing on Jefferson every time down. And sometimes they're also bringing the 5-man over who's guarding Buchanan. So Jefferson's struggling, but a lot of players in the country will struggle when they've got 3 guys on them. And nobody right now is doing anything to help that. I think Heisey in the corner is enough of a threat where you can't help off.
So we figured it out.
Yeah,
we figured it out.
Easy as that, I guess.
No, we presented as always by Karl Chevrolet.
Didn't mean to side towards Karl Chevrolet.
Trying to lighten the mood just a little bit here in the Northwest Bank Studios. We honestly, and there's nothing to be positive about today, but I will give larger perspective. It is a long season.
Yeah. And
these Otzelberger teams always hit a wall at some point. It appears they have hit it. The one thing that I can live with, the Kansas game, I've said I don't think anybody would have beaten Kansas that night. Today it was
Houston would have beat Cincinnati today.
Yeah, that's exactly. This was a different story.
Mm-hmm.
This was a team that got a bunch of second chance points, transition. It looked like either Iowa State was insanely tired or not trying, and I don't believe that they weren't trying. I don't believe that. You guys have your own opinions, whatever. And it's also a good lesson for all of us. Iowa State's really good. There's a lot of pros on that team. They're not good enough to just show up. That was a desperate team they played today.
And they didn't
look what team looked desperate today, and look what team was kind of showed up and was, playing Big 12 basketball. The desperate team won. So Iowa State, can you become that desperate team?
How do you
get that back and funnel that? Get it back within your program.
How do you fake desperation? And maybe it's bulletin board material from Cyclone Fanatic. And if you want to be desperate, you are not on Arizona's level right now. You're not on Houston's level right now.
No.
Go out Tuesday night against Central Florida and be desperate and prove that this is the same team that beat Purdue by 25 on their home court. Go and prove that this is the team that beat Creighton and St. John's by a combined 40 points out in Las Vegas. Because right now, this doesn't look like the same team.
The biggest thing to me is the rebounding thing. It's just I'm a Dennis Rodman guy. I got a poster of Dennis Rodman hanging up in my office, just because I try to subscribe.
Let's go put it behind us right now.
We should, but like Dennis Rodman is the greatest rebounder of all time, and he was what, 6'7", 6'8", and it like
Melvin Edgem.
There's just a lot of stuff that I saw out there today that you're not blocking out. That team wanted it more than Iowa State did today, and it was very obvious. So, yeah, I still think they're a really good basketball team. I still think that everything is out there in front of them. Like at the end of the day, again, it is January 17th, and you have all these opportunities in the Big 12 ahead of you. That team today isn't the team that we saw a month ago.
That team today can lose they
can lose to
in the round of
anybody
32.
really on the schedule.
Yeah. You're at the point right now where 6 games in a row, I mean, even you go back to Iowa, you're letting other teams dictate how the game's going to go. That's not how Iowa State's at their best. They have to go and bring the fight. They've got to go bring the punch. Because if you're say you're a 2 seed at March Madness and you're up against a 7 seed Arkansas or something like that. If you let Arkansas dictate,
they'll beat you.
If you let them dictate how the game's going to be played physically, if you let them dictate the pace, you'll lose.
Best comment of the day was yours, like about the Iowa State defense. It's not conventional, but it works because you're so committed to it.
Yeah. You can't be half committed to it.
Correct.
If you're half committed to it,
but especially with the switching and all that stuff, it's like there were a lot of looks Cincinnati got today. And again, they were 29% from. It felt like they were like 50. They weren't. They just shot a lot of them because you gave them so many damn offensive rebounds. But like there were a lot of late closeouts today. Just a lot. I would venture more often than not a closeout was late, not as crisp.
It reminded
is
me
what
of
Kyle Green teaches.
It reminded me of the game that felt like 5 years ago at one point. Now it doesn't. It was the Creighton exhibition. I was there, and I mean, we were all
and they kicked out of that.
We were all overreacting that night, and the fallback to that was pretty easily like this defense takes as much physical effort as it does. It takes a lot of mental effort to be on the same page with your teammates, and you gave up a lot of. You just gave up a lot of weak side threes. There's no excuse to do that in January, so they've got to find a way to break out of it. That's the coaching staff's job. It's the players' job to be. You have to go play like Kansas did on Tuesday night. Like that's the fix.
Who's the preferred pest control pest of the game? Was it that guy who was wanting to fight Taman?
Yeah, but he missed that dunk. What about Chum hitting that 3 at the top of the key?
You're not going to say his Jizzle's just sheer existence? I mean, I think
Jizzle can be quite the pest sometimes.
I feel like Jizzle James has a claim at the preferred pest control pest of the game. Just the fact that he's even on their team.
What about just offensive rebounding?
Harris is the pest of the game. I don't know how anybody can watch that Harris and not root against that guy. Mouthing off every play. Don't you think he was the pest of the game?
Yeah, that's fine. Sincere Harris, 12 points.
He was a pest. If you're a Cincinnati fan, you love that guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You love that guy. Isn't that the definition of a pest?
Where can Iowa State get that right now? Who's going to go out?
It's got to be Torrey.
Who's going to go out?
Torrey's got to get
talk some trash.
Yeah. It's got to be Torrey, right?
It's not a
or Nate.
It's not a perfect comparison. I think
Nate.
it's Nate. I think it hurts a little more when a white guy's talking trash to you.
Maybe.
I think it.
Maybe. Just being real.
I'm a white guy, so we can say that. But I can speak like it's not perfect. It's not a perfect comparison, but back when I played tennis, sometimes you would talk trash.
We're going to the D3 tennis references here.
Mindset.
Give me another Guinness.
Mindset. TJ was what, a D2 basketball player?
D3.
D3?
You think he was good enough to play D2?
I don't want him to punch me in the face. But to make the comparison, it's all mindset, not sport. Sometimes I would talk trash because I knew that if I talk trash, then I'm going to have to lock in because the other guy's going to want it more. And sometimes it was a mind trick to me where I didn't actually dislike the other guy, but I wanted to piss him off because it would in turn piss me off. Right now, Iowa State's got to go. You got to talk trash while you're down if you talk trash while you're up. And that's how Iowa State can find their edge again.
I do believe they'll be fine and they're going to kick out of this, but they're in a rut right now.
Yeah.
Not Your Average Jerk Guy gives us $9.99. Thanks, you cheap ass. Couldn't just give us $10? I'm kidding. He says, C-Dub, I love you, but please don't let Iowa State off the hook here. Why do we always do this? It pisses me off to no end. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. How am I letting Iowa State off the hook?
I don't
understand how am I doing that.
You're making a prediction that you think they'll be fine.
Well, I
don't think that's letting them off the hook.
But there's some people in our comments that are saying they're not going to win another game. That's insane.
I'd tend to side with those people. They seem more reasonable than you.
What does it mean for me to not let them off the hook though? I've said that they're playing horrible. I've said that they what do you want from me?
You need to put $100 on Circus Sports Iowa on the Central Florida Knights on Tuesday night.
I wouldn't want to be that team.
No.
Coming to Hilton after this 2 games. But I thought they were gonna win by double digits today.
I did
was
too.
Clearly way off.
And that's
but
the
again
part.
this game, and you check the tape, it frightened me just because of Cincinnati's spot and they have talent. It's just they hadn't put it together. And Iowa State stepped in it today, and they didn't match them physically. They didn't match their toughness. They didn't match the energy. And, you effed around and you found out.
And
this was a different story than Tuesday night's game at Kansas.
We talked about it Wednesday on Williams and Bloom, that this matchup was scary also because it's similar to the Iowa Northwestern football, where you play the same way and one team just does it a lot better.
Yeah.
When those teams meet, it almost always ends in close games. Every single Otzelberger-Wes Miller matchup to this point have been close before today. Whether it's at Hilton,
this game
whether
didn't
it was in
feel
Cincy.
like a one or
no. And
this felt like Iowa State lost by 20.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's why it was scary
Yeah.
though on Wednesday, was that you knew that because the styles can be so similar, that there was a chance that Cincy could outplay you at your own game, and they did it 10 times over.
Yeah, and they whooped their ass today. I should really know that.
I'll go on the record that I think Iowa State will win another game this year.
Think so?
I might.
You might get one.
I'll check with our buddy Coop if I can borrow some of his Circus Sports Iowa money and place money on that bet.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll say is, again, and then we're going to throw it to the after dark guys.
They better be drinking some dark whiskey.
You hope that this is the rut this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you look at that end of February stretch, you don't want it then.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. And I did.
You do it then.
I did the Daily Clone on Wednesday, and I laid out the argument that I don't necessarily think the TJ slide. I said that I think it's still too early to decide if it's a real thing, because you look at the talent level of those first 2 teams.
I agree with you completely on that. We probably overdo that.
Yeah, you look at the talent on those first 2 teams. They were way ahead of schedule early in the season, and they came back to normal. The team with Kurt Jones and Keyshawn Gilbert and Trey King, when those 2 guys were in their first year, that team, yes, they certainly hit somewhat of a rut, but they didn't lose back-to-back games once in Big 12 play. They didn't.
I do think, and I do think there's got to be something to
the physicality.
The physicality, yeah. And then also the predictability of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't some complicated playbook.
No.
That Iowa State is running. And if they don't get in transition, they don't score that often. Unless it's Milan or Taman just kind of ISOing.
Mm-hmm.
But Taman's best at doing that when he's in you can't play the way they're playing the last 2 games, turning the ball over that much, not getting into transition against good defensive teams on the road, and expect, because they're not that good.
Yeah.
As far as just half court offenses go against good teams, Iowa State is average or worse in the country.
Agree.
They're not good at that.
And if
it's
you're
not what they do, and to go back to your point, when you're letting these teams dictate in their home arenas, you're screwed.
And if you are struggling to create turnovers and you are playing games in the half court, Momcilovic should be shooting 20 times a game.
Yeah. Which he was phenomenal today.
He went 8 of 14 from 3 today, and I didn't even feel like he shot it enough. I would have liked to see him shoot 23s, and that seems...
And he just ran out of gas at the end.
It seems overdramatic.
Yeah.
I truly believe that Tuesday, I want Iowa State to go out there. I want 5 plays in a row drawn up from Momcilovic.
And you hope, too, it's like Kansas, let's use them as an example. They come back from West Virginia, and Bill's doing the whole...
They have players-only meeting.
Well, and then Bill at his press conference in Morgantown last week and was like losing his mind. And now they've won 2 in a row against Iowa State and Baylor, and their fan base is back in like Final Four mode. So
they got the best player in America.
I mean, most teams go through this at some point. You just hope that this is Iowa State's and that you can. But there's no guarantees of that. But that's what you. Michigan lost as a 15.5-point favorite at home last week. Okay, so watching them right now here, they were on the Peacock right after Iowa State.
Vanderbilt's about to lose their second straight game after starting undefeated. Fred and Nebraska, they're going to go through it at some point. I don't think Arizona will go through it. I think they're a different level. But
I'm going to that game, and we're slaying demons. Iowa State's winning that freaking game. I'm going to will it into existence. I'm just going to talk about it until it happens. All right, let's get out of here. The Levi and the boys.
I got a wedding
after dark.
Won't be as fun as the wedding I went to after the Purdue game.
Let's hang out with those guys here coming up. Thanks to Keen Project Solutions, Natuzel Financial Services, of course, our presenting sponsor, Karl Auto Group here on the postgame show. Iowa State with a tough one today, 79-70, second loss in a row after a 16-0 start. The world is on fire here in Cyclone Nation. We'll go to After Dark next here on Cyclone Fanatic.